50 years ago, America passed the 28th Amendment,
virtually enslaving anyone with special abilities into government service, or forcing them to live as ordinary citizens.
With his team disbanded,
America's foremost protector and hero for a century had been betrayed by the very institution he swore to serve. Erased from its history books, his every exploit was covered up. Now, in a place called Little Bighorn, the greatest hero America has forgotten will come out of retirement to take down the very institution he once served,
assembling a new team of superpowered individuals wielding abilities never before witnessed.
In a country that has banned its heroes, it's time to root for the criminals. Let's start a new revolution.
I wanna know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I wanna know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey there. Hey, everybody. It's better if you go live. I just want you to know I was having a brilliant conversation with myself. So that's how it is, man. I was just waxing poetic, man. I had the whole thing kind of like, I was just like, dig it in, man. Dig it in. But unfortunately, I didn't go live, so yeah, that worked. Anyway, pinning that message right there. All righty. Well, what I was saying earlier that you guys couldn't hear, I guess I was talking to myself. Hey, let me just say hello to the chat over here again, but this time where you can hear me. Will, Hell Nerds, always the first. Mr. Chris Tamblyn, hey dude, enjoyed the show the other night, man. We need to do it again. You can come on here anytime. Jolly Green, hey, what's up, man? Right, another Will making fun of me. There you go. As usual. Yep, Ironsides. Yep, that's the dude. Needs some milk. Well, there you go. Elders Neff. Hey man. Didn't know you were back in the country, my friend. Oh, that's right. Judex is going live, isn't it? It's going live. So hey, you guys need to check that out, man. That Judex is awesome. It's gonna be awesome, man. I'm waxing something, all right. Yeah, okay, well. It is what it is. I'm not really a furry guy, so I don't really have to do a lot of waxing. Too much information, right? All right. That's what I do here. I share. All right. You suck, Bunny. See you tomorrow. Yep. I'll be there. I was going to talk a little bit about that. All right. So after I put out the SOS, why did I need an SOS? Okay. Because I dropped the ball. I launched my campaign when it didn't immediately take off. I got in my feelings, curled into a ball, licked my wounds for about a week, which I was off and free, and I could have been on shows, I could have been promoting. And hindsight, that is what it is. I'm not really entirely sure where my head was, but it wasn't in the right place. So I think hindsight. Just kidding. Wookie sucks. Looking forward to the stream, bud. Yeah, looking forward to it, man. And I disagree on Wookie. He doesn't. He's low on the suckage level. According to me. Anyway, all right. So basically, what happened? 2 months ago, big disaster happened. I won't rehash. I've done on several shows, but it was a disaster, and I didn't quite recover. And in time for the lunch, hey Rabbit, hey Pop McCotton, good to see you, my friend. And so there you go. But I didn't recover in time, really. In hindsight, I should have waited. And launched later. But I was on my birthday. It's 50th birthday. You wanted to mark this momentous moment in your life. You fulfilling a lifelong dream, and boom. So I decided to drop on the 50th, and it turned out to be a mistake. Mentally, I wasn't ready. I was ready. The campaign was ready. The everything I needed was ready, but I wasn't ready. And you can go back and you can kind of like nitpick and sift through the ashes. The autopsy has been done to death. So moving on. So basically, I put the SOS tweet out saying, "Hey guys, I got flat-footed here. I didn't take care of, lining stuff up, because evidently I've been depressed for 2 months and wasn't aware of it. And that's no excuse. It's no excuse. But, somebody kicked my butt, said, do you like your IP? Do you want it to succeed? You need to do something here." And he's absolutely right. And so, I thought, okay, well, I lost the network I was going to rely on. So let me reach out to the bigger one, the bigger one out there. We know as Comicsgate, the world's greatest hate group. We call ourselves a hat group. It is what it is. Hold on a second. Nobody ever 100% ready the first time they launched. Surreal experience, opening the floodgates to what you've been painstakingly working on for years. Yeah, and I was saying this on Chris Tamblyn show. You guys need to watch it. We had a real good show last night. But to be honest, when you're a professional or when you've been in the pro ranks, you've had thousands of campaigns, not campaigns, but books through your hands. You've worked on book after book after book over the years. And so they're not precious to you. They're not like intimately close to your breast. I even if, it's your first crowdfunded book, like some of these ex-pros have put out recently, not ex-pros, but ex-Main Street pros. They're still pros. But with somebody like me who's never been in the mainstream, never worked on books, never had deadlines, never had something they brought from their head out to the page, that these characters you've worked on for years, that you've dwelt on, you've lived in these worlds. I call it building the own ramp. I'm working on building the own ramp and hoping people will take the own ramp to my world. And what happened was, because of lack of promotion, lack of, preparing the way, to be honest, I'm going to be very honest here. I did a shitty job of it. So the night came, and it didn't fall flat on its face, but it wasn't what I was hoping. And so immediately I got in my head, and naysayer, got negative, and and then it got worse. It kind of snowballed on me. And but now I finally got my budding gear, and I put the tweet out. So hold on a second. I've only ever backed one book. It would be after 2 years late. I've been told it's going to be delivered in September. Not holding my breath. Gotcha. Right. But the bottom line, though, is I'm here. My IP is here, and I still, hold on a second. Still looking for a guy who can draw epic stick figures. I think people think I'm crazy. I thought this might have been easier. It sucks. Yeah. Right. Key is to bounce back. Yeah. Working on it. Howdy, T-Bun. Happy Friday. Hey, man. The link is live, guys. It's pinned at the top. If anybody wants to hop in. But so what happened was I got a bunch of people that stepped up and said, hey, I got a show. I'd like to have you on, and some people that I had never really interacted with, like, I haven't really talked to Chris Tamblyn before. I was aware of him. And it was awesome to go on the show, and had a great time and lined up another show from that. And so I'm going to be on Cross Comics next Wednesday 5 o'clock. So yeehaw, let's go. And so thing about it is I did have a couple things lined up, and then I had things kind of given to me last minute, and I took everything that came to me. And so tomorrow it's going to be an interesting day. Hold on a second. There we go. Let's see. You're a good panelist. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Work at till 11 p.m. I'm here to support you. Hey, man. Appreciate it. Yep. But yeah, congratulations on having Razor Fist on your show last night, man. You were killing it. You guys were just going back and forth. I got lost. It's two gigantic brains like scraping up against each other, like creating sparks. It was beautiful. And so basically, tomorrow I'm going to be on Wookie Fever with aforementioned File 13. And that crew by Rab. I don't know who else is going to be there. Maybe Time Prophet. He shows up from time to time. Just great guys. Great guys on that show. That channel should be huge, or way bigger than it is. And I'll see File 13 again on Sunday. So I'm glad to be back on that show. They're great guys. And then I actually have Red Valkyrie lined up for 4 o'clock. She's going to do cosplay of Switch, my girl Switch. That's going to be interesting to see. And then Apex Comics asked me to come on Saturday night. So I agreed to do that. And so I'm going to have 3 shows tomorrow. So, I mean, I went from 0 to 180. So I'm great. I'm ready to go. Hold on a second. I know it's hard not to try to take personally. First-time creators often surprise the learner. Not exaggerating when we say 90% of books is due to promotion. Yeah. Well, I'm not taking it. I guess I did take it personally, but I got my head out of that space. I'm on the way. And thank you, Michael, for letting me launch, even though I wasn't ready for it. You knew I wasn't ready for it, but you let me launch anyway, and I appreciate it. Oh yeah, hold up. Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry, bud. I'll get on that. See you Sunday. I'm very disorganized. It is what it is. But basically, when I look at the campaign's at 10% right now, and 10% is awesome. 15 backers. I'm ready. I mean, that's great. I got some friends, Sector 7, who are even struggling worse than that, and they've got incredible art on that campaign, incredible IP, incredible world. And so, sometimes things happen like that. It's a grind, and, you have to be mentally ready for it before you get started. And I didn't quite prepare myself. I didn't, I thought I was ready, but I wasn't ready, really. And And so that's no excuses for anything. That's no excuses for anything. But if anybody is watching me and trying to like get an idea about what this is like, it basically it's like you have a child, okay, but it's a child that hasn't gone out into the world. You know, you've raised it by yourself in a kind of isolated environment, you know, and you've watched the child grow, you've watched them do amazing things, and you know how wonderful this child is. And then when you get it out into the world, and you know this incredible child is one that you've uh you know cultivated and raised and you know sacrificed for, and you get it out into the world and people think it's just another child, you know. And then you're just like, but can't you see how wonderful this child is, how incredible this child is, you know? I mean, how talented, how amazing, you know. And then you have to like say, okay, well, people don't know how amazing my child is. I've got to like promote it. I've got to tell people how awesome they are, and then let people see it for themselves. Um, but we're in a crowded space. We're in a very crowded space. Once upon a time, every book that came out, you know, no matter how small the creator, was met with eagerness to back, eagerness to strike a blow against the patriarchy, as it were, which is Marvel and DC, you know, mainstream comics, who had thrown us out, insulted us, destroyed our characters we loved, and told us it was our fault for being toxic istophobes, that we deserved this. That somehow us loving these characters and supporting them all these years was somehow an evil act. And they told us this, they basically told us this stuff. And so when we got away, we started like building our own stuff, you know, like Jawbreakers, you know, Cyberfrog, some of the earlier ones that came out. Um, some we still haven't seen, like bless the heart, Shinobi Sasquatch, Cal too. Man, I hope he gets that book out someday. Yeah, he just chose the wrong horse to back. But you know, I mean, some of these, so this space, you know, just had a few candidates, and so a lot of money was thrown their way. It wasn't that competitive, you know. It's like, hey, you got a book, boom. I remember being back then, it was like once a month. Okay, who's coming out this month? You know, we're all talking about, oh, well, I don't want to like be a stack on top of somebody. So I'll see who's all out. Okay, there's a space here. I'll pop in there. But you know what happened? It got to where, you know, it got to where, so there's like 6 or 7 like launching at the same time, you know, and that's still going on today. And people are just launching when they launch, and so nobody's really trying to step over on each other. It's just you know, it's just a crowded space. And so especially with FMC coming into the scene, FMC has been a game changer. And you know, initially when FMC first launched some of the early campaigns on there, they didn't quite get the eyes, but now we got 5 campaigns over 5 figures, and one of them that's, you know, it's already passing 20,000 probably shortly, Bronze Star. And so, you know, it's into this space. You launch your baby. You launch the thing that you've been working on for, you know, pretty much decades, you know, one way or another, one form or another. And it's really kind of like a nerve-wracking thing. If you're not ready, you know, it can catch you, you know. I mean, this guy right here, you know, he's been my companion, my constant companion for, you know, 3 years now. He's on my phone. He's on my laptop. You know, I got a figurine sitting there on my desk. And hold on a second. And there are 2 more crowdfunding sites coming soon, apparently. The landscape is changing fast. Oh, really? I was not aware of that. I'll have to keep an eye out. Maybe I don't have to go on Kickstarter and IGG. That would be awesome. I've been like saying, I know eventually I have to like venture out onto other crowdfunding websites, but you know, I just don't want to go to the pink and blue, or pink and green as we call them. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. But basically, if you're not ready, and you can prepare and line up shows, and you can go. I mean, Hojo, you know him, H. Wayne Desper, the creator of Mythicals, and that guy, man, he set about with a will. I mean, he just he toured that book and toured that book and toured that book, and he is over 10K, a brand new book right out of the box, brand new IP nobody's seen before, and he's over 10K. So, he struggled to do it though, man. He was on shows every night for a while, and hold on a second. Unless IGG or brings up sales, we don't need them. They're just money managers in that case, right? Right. Exactly. Kickstarter, right? Okay, got it. Unless Kickstarter or IGG brings up sales, right? I think the bureaucracy of IGG and Kickstarter, they've gotten so bloated that you can't even talk to anybody anymore over there. And so, yeah, I'm looking for something more streamlined. FMC is my home for now, and I'm definitely going to crowdfund over there, crowdfund my little white narrow butt off. But basically, my fluffy tail. I'll just say it that way. My fluffy tail. Anyway, gotta keep the branding. But here we are. And the baby's out in the world. He's taking his first steps, and I've had some very good feedback. I've had some people be really impressed with it. People like my trailer, like the look of the campaign. I've gotten some feedback about some of the pricing, but the pricing is something I kind of obsessed about for months, and it is the price point that it's at. I'm kind of hoping that somebody will decide to create an expressor at some point, so I can get the creation of that underway, and work on the back side of the book, because I was holding it for that, and get that written. I mean, it's plotted and mostly written, but I've been waiting for that choose the expressor tier to see if anybody jumps on that. The chance to have a character in a book. Imagine if Marvel or DC asked you that. I mean, we've all wanted to like create a creator in Marvel or DC, and I'm giving somebody the chance to do that. And yeah, I might be small potatoes right now, but if you've seen what I've got planned, if you see the IP that I have, the people that have seen it have been very, deeply impressed. Norm Leinert saw it. It's almost like a spiritual experience for him. He's been my biggest acolyte. He went from editing my book to I haven't paid him, and he's still my editor. Hold on a second. Coop, Rita's escape. Recruit a team of comic dudes with attitudes. Oh, got it. Well, basically, though, sorry I keep saying basically. I need to get a different word. Trying to collect my thoughts here. So tomorrow, I got 3 shows. I got one on Sunday, maybe 2. And, I've got some booked for next week. And we're going to get this thing. We're going to get this thing funded. But the baby's out in the world. He's walking around. He's showing people what he's got. And so far, 15 people have decided that they want to jump on board, take the on ramp, visit my world. I say get on board, guys, because this on ramp will eventually be a super highway. I believe that every fiber of my being. And in my head, when I imagine the on ramp, I imagine this like you ever see an empty super highway or something? Well, like big bridges and stuff that they haven't like diverted traffic yet, so it's just kind of sitting there ready and capable, but it doesn't have people driving on it yet. That's what I picture in my head. I've got Northport Chronicles on board, a free city and community service world that basically is founded by pirates. I said basically again. Sorry, guys. I'm stuck with it tonight. But is a city founded by pirates, never officially part of this in the United States. Had an individual charter, and so it's a city where expressors can run wild. The powered people can run wild without being the FERA. FERA has a branch office there, but they don't have jurisdiction. So it's a world that kind of like it's a microcosm unto itself. And so I've already got a bunch of stories written there. But right now I'm working on the primary arc, which is a community service arc. And this first 3 books is the Little Bighorn arc. And I don't know, arc is a word, I just use, but that's pretty much what it's got. Expressors is a cool word. I appreciate it. Yeah. So the world is ready for people to peruse, to come and visit. Ironsides is an incredible character, incredible person to know, and he gave me some advice. It's really kind of odd. I take that, I sometimes write my like me visiting my characters, visiting my world, walking the streets, talking to the people. And one particularly down moment, I had a conversation with Ironsides in Northport, the city that I've got planned out. And he said that you need to stop being a day laborer and start being the architect. And because eventually this thing's going to get too big for one person. You're going to need to start thinking along the lines of an architect and get out of the day laborer mindset. And I think that's part of like dreaming big. I think honestly, I kind of stuck with the idea that that this thing's going to kind of like stay small, and but there's a part of me that thinks it's going to be huge at some point. And so what do you spend all your time doing? You spend all your time designing roads for big traffic to go on, or are you going to just make a small road for a few people that is accessible to a few people? And I choose to like create that super highway, invite people to come on. So after 1 week after the SOS, tomorrow will be the anniversary. I really, it's about what you put your energy into. Yeah, exactly. And so I'm going to dream big. I'm going to keep pushing this. I'm going to keep finding new shows to go on, finding new audiences, and we're gonna make this work. We're gonna make this happen. And I wanted people to know. I wanted people to know that my head's finally right. I'm motivated. I'm pointed in the right direction, and this is just gonna go from here. It's just gonna get bigger, just like Mr. John Douglas talking to Razor Fist, yesterday, and holding his own. I mean, I was very impressed. I'm amazed at how much closer Comicsgate seems to be getting to being approved of. Thinking Critical was looking at this article that came out in Comics Book Resource that was negative against CG, and it was using like all this old stuff that they used to accuse us of in like 2018 or so. And he and Doc were like, these are people that used to be critical of CG, and weren't very friendly towards us at all, them and Perch, and yet they were saying, hey, all these guys these guys used to agitate, these guys used to go after these pros and stuff, and they used to be aggressive and they used to be trolls, but now they're just making comic books. You told them to make their own, and that's what they're doing. And I heard this coming from Wes from Thinking Critical, and I'm like, and then hear Doc going, I was like, yeah, they're just making their own, they're minding their own business, and these people are still trying to start fights with them. And then I saw who else was it that Neon from Clownfish TV, and he read the same article, and he's like, this is AI, this has got to be AI because they're using all this old information, because he says, I know these guys in CG. I've dealt with these guys in CG, and they're not this, whatever this is, they're not this. And so the bottom line is that we are becoming more and more palatable. We're becoming people are starting to see through all of the smear campaigns. People are starting to understand what the Wikipedia article, how stupid it really is. And I think that we are about to have an influx, the likes of which we haven't contemplated before. And I think a small community that seems to be a little insular right now, where the finances seem to be going at the guys at the top, primarily. I think eventually there's going to be enough people flooding into this space that people at the bottom are going to start being, there's going to be traffic down this way, and we need to be ready for it. And there's a lot of really awesome campaigns under 10K that are about to get a lot of eyes. And maybe right now it seems with slim pickings, seems like it's a tall order and a high mountain to climb to get this thing funded. I think the day is coming where we need to be ready. The normies are coming, guys. The normies are coming. They're getting tired of what they're getting in the mainstream. The Bud Light, whatever you believe about the boycott of Bud Light, whatever you believe about the boycott of Target or whatever, they showed that this community, that people who aren't on board with the extreme liberal coasts are starting to wield some economic power. We're starting to find our footing as a people that aren't listening to CNN, aren't listening to Fox News, which is going off the rails, but are starting to listen to each other and starting to look for alternative sources of communication. That movie, Sound of Freedom, managed to take the 4th of July weekend box office from Indiana Jones 5, a movie that was probably made for $500 million, and a movie that had 14 million, and that's not counting the money that it took to buy it back and get it in theaters. But $14 million movie just beat Indiana Jones 5. The normies are coming, guys. The people are starting to see through the haze. They're starting to see through the gaslighting. They're starting to understand that the people that are being villainized and marginalized, maybe they're not as evil as they thought, you know. And right now, it seems like just the same amount of people are the ones that we're asking to fund our projects. And maybe they can only fund one project and they choose the EVSs and the young Rippas because they get more bang for their buck and are guaranteed to get a product. And so but the time will come where speculation is going to start again, where people are going to start, there's going to be enough backers to where the smaller campaigns are going to start getting looks again. They're going to start getting backed again. And I think that time is coming. I just saw a guy with over 1 million subs hang out with John Douglas, you know, a friend of mine from this area, from this group, you know, the Iron Age. And it's getting a lot snuggy, you know, we're starting to see a lot more crossover. We're starting to see the us and them is starting to become us, you know. And I think as we go, we're going to broaden out. We're going to it's going to be a lot of traffic headed this way, and we got to start thinking bigger. We got to start building the on ramps. We've got to start building the super highways, and we got to start thinking along the lines of becoming the mainstream. It's not enough to sit over here and yell at the mainstream. They're not listening. It's time for us to become the mainstream, you know? Yep. Got to ferret. Got to ferret it out. There you go.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey. Just giving a little bit of pep talk. I'm talking about the fact that Mr. John Douglas over there hung out with Razor Fist last night and at Clownfish TV and Thinking Critical both actually said positive things about CG.
Hey, well, you know, it's Clownfish TV. You know, those guys. I love Neon. And,
yeah.
And Geeky Sparkles.
Well, he's never really been negative towards CG. He's been like wary of us, but he's never really been negative. But Thinking Critical, those guys have been negative towards it. They've been actually they've been hostile in the past, and I just saw them defend CG against this comic book resource article that just came out. It said 10 of the worst things about comic fandom, and we were one of them. And I heard Wes say it with his own voice. He's like, you know, these guys were toxic. These guys that were in attack mode, and you know, and there was a time where, you know, they were these things. He says, but now all they're doing is making books. You told them to make their own books, and you know, and they're making their own books. And so why are you still attacking them? Why are you trying to start something?
Well, you know, it's funny when War Campaign. I even called it too. I was like, dude, War Campaign is the ugly face of Comicsgate, and as soon as they're out, you're gonna watch this place clean up. You're gonna watch more and more books get done. You're gonna watch more and more creators that aren't ready for prime time, that are getting. And I was talking about this with Luke Stone.
Yeah.
Right, about not Luke Stone, but Luke Metals Brewskis, you know.
Right.
Metal Hero. That's right. That's one. Death Metal Hero. So, and about how, like, you know, like EVS popped into a stream that I was on just randomly and gave me pointers. You don't get that anywhere else. You don't get that. That does not happen outside of comics.
Well, I've been on EVS's show twice now. Twice.
2 more times than I have.
I know. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. And And hold on a second. Wolf Liera says, I have become mainstream destroyer of worlds. Awesome. Hey there, Bunny. File 13 sucks. Yeah. Yeah. He said the same about you, Wookie. You guys behave. You guys behave. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow.
No,
Okay.
sir, you don't behave. You can murder 2 men enter, 1 man to leave.
Well, it'll be a bloodbath tomorrow. We'll have fun. Okay, I have to admit, I was tuned out during that period. What is war campaign and what happened?
See, that's the greatest thing, dude. Please say that again. That was just sing me that song again.
What? Which one?
That one you just sang. You just sang me a song. It was beautiful. What is war campaign? I know. I love.
What is war campaign? Yeah. John, it's
also known as was campaign.
Was campaign, right?
Started off as a as like an EBS superfan group, right?
Mm,
and then they were like, and these guys actually, they served a purpose in the early days of CG, where on social media they would go and counterattack all the wokies who were attacking us and canceling and whatnot. This is the height of cancel culture and stuff. And at that point, they served a purpose. And then it's when they had defeated the enemies, and they crushed their enemies, saw them driven before them, and heard the lamentations of their women.
Yeah.
They turned the knives inward and started attacking Comicsgate fans, people with strong conservative viewpoints, like Bean from PA, she's a wonderful person.
Right.
And they were starting to drive away the consumer base. They were driving away creators. They even came after me once, and I just whatever. I laughed at them and rolled with it, because I was just like, dude, that's so silly.
Yeah. Oh, John corrected. He says, sorry, what was war campaign?
See, now we call it was campaign.
Right.
They're still doing their thing. They're still doing their thing. Yeah. And
right.
They resurfaced during the Canadian trucker strike and whatnot. And for that, I give them hats off to that. They got a lot of attention onto that. They fought the good fight. And then they thought they were relevant to Comicsgate again and started coming back. I mean, if you really want to check it out, go. Lorenzo Sleestack has Ro Kabir on his channel frequently. Me personally, their humor is not my sense of humor, and I'm not the type that likes that kind of just dickish behavior.
Well, I mean, it was funny. I kind of ran afoul of them the other day because somebody was asking about was there any purity tests? Was there any CG people doing CG purity tests at some point? And I mentioned that war campaign did do some, did go after people, and then I got the Pan and
oh yeah,
Roe came on that thread, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're just smearing war campaign, And
no.
And it's funny because a friend of mine says this was something they posted everywhere, and it was like actually CG only. It was like something like that. And
they were very CG exclusive, because there were a lot of people that like, hey, we support Comicsgate, but we're not a part of a consumer movement. We're
parallel, right? Well, but basically that's the bad old days. We're talking about the bright future. So
but that's to answer your question.
That answers the question. Yeah. They are kind of like they are our sloth in the basement. Okay.
Hey, Sloth was cool.
Sloth was cool, though. I'm sorry. I apologize. I forget.
They're like the thing in the attic.
There you go. Right. Anyway, so anyway, I mean, but I mean, they are there. They're doing their thing, and good on them. More power to them. But I'm just seeing I'm seeing things happen that I never thought would happen. I'm seeing people. Hold on a second. All your mainstream are belong to us. Yeah.
That's what the Wokies did.
Right. And so basically, I've been telling people for years, I'm like, there's no way back. there's no way back to the mainstream, what we used to call the mainstream. There's no way back from what they've
Yeah.
done to it.
Well, you know,
No,
Comicsgate came about at about the same time that the Move the Needle, right?
Yep.
Remember that hashtag, Move the Needle,
Yep.
right? That was to tell the big companies, hey, we don't like the direction you're going. We're
Right.
going to buy books that we think that are in the right direction, and we're going to openly criticize stuff. And of course, your boy Zach was the spearhead of that.
But the thing about it is every time he put a finger on something that we thought was good, they would attack that creator until he disavowed us.
Yeah.
And it's like every time we tried to encourage them, say this is what we consider good. They're like, oh, this is something we need to destroy. You know, we were fingering things for them to destroy.
You know,
And
you call that, right?
yeah, exactly. And what's that?
That's scorched earth.
Scorched earth, right?
You deny your opponent the ability to resupply from the land, right?
Yeah.
So, and our resupply was these books that were honestly they were half decent. Like, look,
right,
under today's hypercritical, and some people have interpreted this the wrong way. Like, you know, you want to talk about coming on the wrong side of, like, say, Eric July fans, right?
Right.
Yeah. I have said that overall, ISOM number 1 was the reviews are lukewarm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a caveat to that, though. There's an asterisk to that rating.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because just about anything taken under criticism, like from the last 35 years, the best books, our favorite books, get lukewarm reviews. That's a good review these days. And I wasn't kidding when I said, that's a good review.
Well, one of the things is I find is interesting. One of the things I find interesting is when I look at these Sound of Freedom reviews, and when I see the negativity towards them, it's never about the movie. Is the movie good? Yes, by every metric that people neutral to the thing have gone see this movie, and they said, yes, this movie is good. It's quality. It's shot good. The acting was top notch, and the pacing. There's some pacing problems in the middle, but for the most part, it was a really good movie, and people enjoyed it. And there's been standing ovations. There's been people like crying and hugging each other at the end of it. It's having a result, but then you see the mainstream that can't enjoy it, that can't see it for what it is because they're so political that they can't say, well, this is a problem. I mean, Epstein's Island, we know it exists. We've seen pictures of it. We just don't know who visited it mysteriously. Mysteriously, we don't know who visited it. And Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for, human trafficking with no idea of who she trafficked to, which is really interesting. It's really interesting. But so we know this exists. Everybody knows this exists, and yet they're sitting here like, "Oh, this is a conspiracy theory," and we know it's not.
Yeah.
But the bottom line, though, the point I was making is that people are waking up. They're waking up, and they're no longer trusting the news media. They're no longer trusting the talking heads. They're no longer trusting the newspapers. They're no longer trusting anything but their own eyes and ears. And because of the fact that Elon Musk bought Twitter has really, I mean, whatever you want to think about Elon Musk, him buying Twitter and having some form of free speech on Twitter has completely, totally destroyed their plans for what they had planned. And they hate him so much for that. But the bottom line is people are starting to find each other. They're starting to remember what it's like before they divided everybody. And before they told us that, I can't be friends with a black person because of whatever reason, And the bottom line is we're starting to find each other, and we're starting to form a new mainstream. It's coalescing right in front of us.
Yeah.
and they're obsolete. What we're seeing there is the bleating of obsolescence. Well, I mean, they no longer relevant in any way, shape, or form. I mean, and the thing, and they know they're irrelevant now. They know that they are, and they're fighting it. And the more, and it's going to get ugly before it gets better. But the mainstream is forming right now, and here we are. I've got a project out there right now.
A great
And
project.
if I can hang on long enough for enough of this to form, for the backers to come in, the new backers, the new flood of backers I'm expecting, if I can, and if my book resonates with those people, then people will finally, I mean, my Ironsides will finally get the attention he deserves, and maybe we can rewrite. Maybe we can start having the new X-Men. Maybe somebody can have the new, you know, Superman, the new Batman, the new Captain America, the new Spider-Man, you know, and it's going to come from this group here that we're stuck in the middle of. We are got a front row seat to a changing of the tide that's coming, you know, and if we can hang on long enough, it's going to be really amazing. And but the thing about it is here I am, like I launched my campaign, it didn't take off immediately, and I curled into a ball of defeatist thinking, and I talked to myself out of it, and we need to stop talking ourselves out of it.
Yeah, no, for real, it'll get there, you know. And if you know, a lot of most people don't even know that I actually ran a. Now, granted, it wasn't a comic book campaign. It was for miniatures that you could 3D print, and I had only a handful of backers. I think I had like 10 backers or something like that.
Right.
And it was kind of like an open thing. It was a flex goal campaign where it was just like, yep, nope. No matter how much money I make off of this, whoever backs it gets their supplies, and it served its purpose. It allowed me to get more materials. It allowed me to purchase computer programs to take my game to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you gotta roll with it, and then you come back with a bigger one next time.
Right. Right.
You know, like, dude, a few months ago, you know, lost 90% of 20 years of work.
Yeah.
It had just been, I'd been cooking it on the back burner constantly. Like I made sure that in my time management that I dedicated several hours a week to working on that. Like not 1 week went by where I didn't make any forward progress on this. And okay, that was devastating. Like that.
Oh, imagine.
That really got me, especially since one of my co-creators, my brother, had passed away last year.
Wow.
And so it was just like, dude. But now it's coming back better than before. We've already got 3 books for the Cathletico saga. That's the story in which Scalpel Zero takes place in, right?
Right.
Scalpel Zero is going to be in 2 of those books, but not as the primary protagonist. In one, she's a support character, and in another one, she's an antagonist, a counter character. Because Zero is a corporate tool.
Right. There you go.
And but it's a heck of a gripping story. Dude, the first one, that one's going to be it's kind of like a prelude to the whole thing. It's really where the saga begins. I was going to produce it at a later date. Because of the way that I had all the continuity editing done. I had all these Easter eggs planned, and here's the evidence for this, here's the foreshadowing for that. Dude.
Okay, I missed this comment earlier. Now I know, and knowing's half the battle. Yeah.
That's right. The other half is 1/4 blue lasers, 1/4 red lasers.
Right. Well, I actually took an extra shift, so I'm supposed to go into work in a couple hours. So I'll have to end this very shortly. Yeah, I always get you when you're starting wound up, man. You come halfway through the show and then you start getting wound up, and I have to end it, man. That happens every time. I feel horrible about it, but
Hey, that's how I earned my nickname Ferret, was that
there you go.
I get a little easily excited and I get wound up, and I'm just bouncing all over the place, flip-flopping like a slinky out of control.
Well, I was one of the things that the show's produced was the other night I was talking about Ironsides, how hard the glass arm is, and I said if Ironsides were to like put his fist in the end of a tank barrel and the tank were to fire off, the tank would blow up, and so now they're like, oh man, you got to do that, and I was like, oh man, so I'm gonna have to put that in the image somewhere.
An arm a fist will easily fit in there. It's 120 millimeters.
Yeah, exactly, and I was just saying that he could do that and it wouldn't even crack the fist, because it's the most hard substance known to man in that world. So I mean, hey, that might be an art project for you, if you want to take it on. It takes better than anybody. Anyway, I'd be willing to pay. Anyway, but so I know I've kind of rambled tonight. I haven't really said very much, but what I want to say, I want to make sure it gets said, is thank you to everybody that responded, everybody that gave me shows to go on, all 3 of those ones tomorrow. Thank you for the people reaching out and encouraging me. Brand new people that have entered my circle who were like, yeah, I feel that. And this happened to me, and that's been a real encouragement. Chris Tamblyn and that the guys last night on that show were fun show. John Douglas had me on. He's a great interviewer. I mean, he held his own razor fist, guys. I mean, he was not backing down one bit. You guys need to see it. He's amazing. Dave Brink had me on, created an extra show. He's booked on his regular show through Sunday through 3 months in advance, and he made an extra show to have me on. And that's a friend, guys. That is a friend there.
Dave's a true force multiplier.
Yeah, he is. Genuine Comics is just awesome. Chris says, I was great last night. Well, appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Your wife is a looker, man. I'll just tell you that. She is a looker. Diane is hot. Okay. You can tell her I said that. Anyway.
Danger, Will Robinson.
There you go. Anyway. He knows it. He knows she's hot. So anyway. But and tomorrow, I've got the Wookie Fever guys. Now I'm blushing. There you go. Well, we got the Wookie Fever show tomorrow with Cruel Byrab and File 13. Those guys are funny. One of the funniest shows all this community. You guys are missing out. I mean, they don't even have 100 subs yet, so obviously a lot of people are missing out on it. But I'm on that show tomorrow, and then I'll be on Red Valkyrie 4 o'clock. She's gonna cosplay a Switch for me.
Nice.
She's already looking forward to that. And then I'll be on Apex Comics tomorrow night. I think about 9 o'clock Eastern Standard. But that's going to be tomorrow night. And I think File 13's got a show on Sunday. I'm going to be on that one. And then I've got slots open for the next 3 or 4 weeks. If anybody knows a show that needs some cannon fodder to come on. I just want I love my IP. I want people to know about it. And speaking of which, so I'm going to play a trailer and we'll be out. And thank you, Tank Ferret, for coming. Thank you to the fluffiest chat and all of CG. Yeah. And just remember, everybody, follow the white rabbit. Y'all have a good day. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it the gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet? Has to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what cost others. As for me, give me liberty or give me death.